I do have some money saving tips and tricks for you, but even better than that, at the end of this video, I'll give you my simple strategy that has helped my family to live on less money than we make, even when we were only making $27,000 a year household income. I'll go through each expense category in our 2023 budget and share all the tips and tricks that we use to optimize each category. Starting with the smallest category, that one is groceries. And the biggest mistake that I see a lot of people make in their budget is they'll spend way too much money on DoorDash and food delivery. In order for it to be worth your time to not go get it yourself, you need to be making at least $30 per hour and be working full time. Very similarly, for any sort of grocery delivery, Instacart, Walmart Plus, you need to be making at least $15 per hour in order for this to be justified. So aside from cutting back on DoorDash and making sure you're in the right income to use Instacart, one thing that helps save a lot of money on groceries that does not take a ton of effort is finding the right store. Okay, I am surprised at how many of my friends complain about their money problems and then they'll shop at a gas station for groceries, which has around a 300% markup. For example, in Las Vegas, some good stores to shop at are Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart is really good, and then also if you use coupons, Smith's and Albertsons can be good as well. And now the next category in our budget is restaurants. Now my wife and I enjoy going out to eat a lot, but one thing that's helped us to save money in this category is finding a couple restaurants that we really enjoy that are not too expensive. And for us, this looks like Red Robin because you can get a burger for $7 or $8 and have all you can eat fries. And then in addition to this, we have a couple other restaurants that we really like and they have really great happy hour deals. So the third category in our budget, I'm going to call stuff. And this is everything from furniture, electronics, clothes, shoes, all the stuff like this that you end up needing to buy throughout the year. And I actually only have one tip for this category, and that is to buy everything used. See, if you're used to buying things new, you're usually paying almost double what you would have to pay if you were to buy it used. For example, a while ago, my wife and I were looking for a new fridge. What we actually did was we went on Facebook Marketplace and found the exact fridge that matched our kitchen. And it's normally around $3,000, but we got it on Facebook for only $300. So if you do this, if you check Facebook for everything that you end up needing to buy, you can save thousands and thousands of dollars. Because what happens is you end up being able to get a much higher quality item than the one that you're willing to pay for new. And this even goes for clothes. I know a lot of people have an issue with buying used clothes, but my wife and I actually have not bought any new clothes in a long time. We love to go shopping at Goodwill, and especially for women, there are a lot of very lightly used, very expensive brands that my wife finds. And actually, she's found so many that she's opened up her own Poshmark resale store, which I'll link in the bio if you want to check out some of her items. Okay, so we're moving up the list here, and the next category is going to be vacations. My biggest tip for planning vacations is to plan them as far out as possible. You usually want to at least have everything booked 5 to 6 months in advance, because if you go and try and plan shorter than that, the price of everything, airline tickets, hotels or Airbnbs, rental cars, it is probably going to go up in price about 5 to 10% each month as you get closer to the time that you want to go on vacation. And then another tip that's helped my family a lot with vacations is to go with family or friends. For example, if you have family that lives somewhere nice that you enjoy going on vacation, turn it into a visit and you could probably stay with your family without having to book an Airbnb. And then also, if you want to travel with family or friends, you can usually end up splitting an Airbnb or rental house. And then the last tip that I have for this category is to do one big vacation each year instead of having several smaller ones. What this does is it will cut down your transportation costs, and also if you're booking for a longer time, usually housing becomes cheaper by the day as well. Sometimes it can be harder to stomach the bigger bill of paying for a larger vacation, but over the course of a year, you're going to save money versus doing a couple of smaller vacations that end up to be a similar amount of days. The next category is insurance. Now, with how much money people have to spend on insurance, it really surprises me that people will spend so little time shopping around and trying to find the most affordable insurance. So for me, every few months, I reshop for car insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. And this has ended up saving me hundreds of dollars per month, particularly on car insurance. Now, for a lot of people, this seems really confusing and complicated, but there are actually some great online tools that help you do this, and I'll link them in the description. Speaking of insurance, the next category in our budget is cars and transportation. So my first tip for this category is to obviously get rid of as many of your cars as you can. My wife and I actually shared a single vehicle through the first 3 years of our marriage, and it's saved us thousands and thousands of dollars. Now, if getting rid of your vehicle is not an option, one thing that I would consider is trying to find an older vehicle. Because with older vehicles, you're going to have much lower insurance and much lower registration costs. One thing I want to address is that there's this common belief that in order to have a reliable car, it shouldn't be more than 5 years old. And this is actually just flat out not true, and it's marketed into everyone's heads by certain car brands. And some of these brands, their profit models actually depend on you coming back to the dealership for parts. Most of these major car brands make the majority of their profits on spare parts, which to me is kind of concerning because I don't want to buy a car that was designed to break down. Okay, so oftentimes certain brands of older vehicles can be way more reliable. You should probably do some more research on this, but anecdotally, I've had a 2006 Toyota Tacoma, driven it over 200,000 miles, and put less than $2,000 in repairs into it since 2015. So coming up to the most expensive category in our 2023 budget, that would be housing. So for this category, I know saving money here is a pain, but you want to spend at least a little bit of time because this is the category where you can have the largest savings. One thing you want to be doing is you always want to be shopping around for cheaper rents, and just keep in mind the cost and the effort it would take to move, but generally you can find a place that has a better deal on rent. And then another tip for this category is to be looking to buy in the area that you're living in if you're planning on staying there at least 3 years. Now, in January, February 2024, when I'm filming this, the cost of purchasing a home is way more than renting. So for right now, I would only be looking to rent. But usually the cost of a mortgage is going to be less than the cost of rent in the same area. So if you haven't guessed it yet, the strategy that my family has used to live on less money than we make is to start with the largest items in our budget and work our way down. See, most people, they'll focus on all the smaller items like restaurants and clipping coupons at grocery stores. And to me, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense as they could save way more money by downsizing on their $700 a month car. As you can probably tell from this video, I'm a big fan of systems, and if you want to see the systems that I use to get a raise as fast as possible, check out this video here.